Good evening, Ms. Askins. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Lawton Town Crier. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Now, we have concluded what is basically your first meeting, but really your second meeting as interim city attorney. Welcome to the city of Lawton, and this is not your first time working here in the city of Lawton. Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to be interim city attorney.
Well, the mayor asked me for one thing. During this last year and 3 months when I had the opportunity to serve at Cameron University, the mayor and I worked on a number of issues together, had a lot of conversations about how Lawton is growing and the opportunities that are existing here that seem to be so much more positive than 25 years ago. So when he asked me if I could step in for a period of time, a short time, as interim city attorney, it was hard to tell him no.
I understand. Now, you are going to work as the interim city attorney while the city of Lawton conducts its search to find a permanent replacement for city attorney. Knowing that this job is going to be limited in time, what do you see your goals are as this interim city attorney?
Well, first of all, the city of Lawton used to have as many as 5 attorneys in their legal department. For the last 8 months or so, they've been operating with 2. That's a pretty heavy workload for a city the size of Lawton and all of the activities that go on. So first and foremost, the opportunity to serve as the interim city attorney will help take some of the administrative and operational load off of the assistant city attorneys and give them an opportunity to give more time and focus on the issues that they are used to dealing with. It also allows me to assist with the other staff that are there, that are in the legal department who work in different areas, and see if I can help move projects that they are currently working on, if I can help move them along faster. As an employee directly responsible to the city council, that's my position as city attorney. It also gives the city council one more set of ears to be able to listen to their concerns and try to do some research on their behalf, which has already started in the first 2 days that I've been working.
Excellent. Now, one of the unique things that you bring to the table that a lot of people do not probably know is not only do you have a lot of experience managing people, but you're one of the few people in the state who have worked in all 3 branches of government. I speak to your time as a state representative, as a district judge over in Stevens County, and as lieutenant governor for the state of Oklahoma. How do those experiences help you, and what do you bring to the office with that experience?
Well, I do think somewhere back in my prior history before I was state representative, I actually was city attorney for 2 towns in Jefferson County, which even though those are much smaller, they still had issues with their police department. They had needs to have loans from the Water Resources Board to deal with water issues. They had lawsuits maybe dealing with injured employees and workers' comp issues. So some of those issues were the same then as are facing the city of Lawton today. The opportunity that I've had in the different roles in my past, one, I've been an elected official like the city council have. I have been responsible to listen to and try to help constituents like the members of our city council try to do. So I understand the position that they are put in sometimes when they are asked to solve problems that may not have an easy answer or a quick resolution. So trying to help find the best way to be responsive to the needs of the city and yet meet the requirements and the obligations that the city council has to provide for the health and safety of its citizens is something I'm looking forward to.
Excellent. Now, one quick question I want to talk about with that experience. You have notable executive experience, and I bring up that this is not the first time you've led a legal department. You mentioned a second ago about leading being a city attorney with other communities in Oklahoma. But you recently, and I say recently, within the last few years, were working at the judicial branch and managing those attorneys up there. Can you tell us a bit about that experience and what you can bring to the city of Lawton from that experience?
The opportunity for the 9 years prior to coming to Cameron to serve as the administrative director of the courts in the state of Oklahoma gave me a chance to work with judges and lawyers and in all 77 counties. The issues that we have to deal with in those situations, in those cases, often are, money driven. From an administrative standpoint, we worked a lot on IT issues, the same kinds of, and we were beginning to have to deal with some artificial intelligence issues. So many of those same topics are approached in a different way when you're talking about city government, but the overall umbrella of those issues is not new.
Awesome. One last question. I want to touch on transparency in government. That is something that, at least me following you through your career, you've been very open about a transparent government. We have the Oklahoma Open Records Act, we have the Oklahoma Open Meetings Act, and those are important things so that citizens can be involved. Can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts about the Open Records and Open Meetings Act and transparency from the different levels, but also at the city level?
I think from my background, a lot of people don't know or realize I was a journalism major, and so all through my public service career, we've had opportunities I've been part of organizations or institutions that either frequently receive requests for open meetings or for open records. Even way back when I was chairman of the Pardon and Parole Board, Oklahoma's Pardon and Parole Board was one of the few in the country that was subject to open meetings. So we used to have a lot of requests along those lines. As a member of the legislature, there were sometimes requests for open records, but there are exemptions for the legislature in certain areas because particular requests from individual constituents may be a more privacy issue, and so there are some exceptions that the legislature has. The same was true also when dealing with the courts. Even though I believe that we should be as transparent as possible, there are many times that the work product of a judge is not considered an open record because it is not a part of the court file, but certainly everything that's filed in the court, unless the court seals that record, those files are open to the public where they can have an opportunity to view them. I noticed that this week, I think even maybe yesterday or earlier this week, the Oklahoma Supreme Court once again held an oral argument that they now almost routinely live stream, which they didn't do prior to 2018. August of 18, I believe, was the first time that the Oklahoma Supreme Court live streamed one of their oral arguments. It gave an opportunity for citizens across the state, those that were interested, to sign in on a computer and be able to watch the Oklahoma Supreme Court as they ask questions of the lawyers presenting arguments in front of them. So I say that to tell you I feel very proud to have been part of the administrative office of the courts when that decision was made, and I think it's an opportunity to show how you can be transparent and still conduct the work that's needed in privacy when it's required.
Awesome. Ms. Askins, thank you very much for joining us. We will be asking you at some future to have another interview, but we appreciate your time and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.